welcome to Game Marmalade, a spin-off of an obscure radio show called Game Jam, where we talk about games and the like. Yeah. I'm your host today, Panda, and with me I have...
Ibrahim. Henry.
Peter.
And we're going to move straight on to some gaming news.
Cool.
So, for any of those Stardew Valley fans out there, divorce has finally happened.
Yep.
I didn't really play it, but from hearing about it, it sounds really quite harrowing in some ways. So all you do is you walk to the mayor's office, I believe, and you pay 50,000 gold. You open a book.
That is a lot.
Pay 50,000 gold, right? And then you have, by the end of the day, to back out of it, right? But essentially what happens is literally at the end of the day, your spouse gets kicked out. You gain full custody of all the kids. you lose all relationship points with them, and they say things like, "I thought we had something special."
Jeez. Sounds a lot like corruption. Like you're just going to the mayor and being like, "I want everything. Here's some money."
I mean, to be fair, that is like, I don't know actually. Like at least from the year that I played of the in game, 50,000 is a lot of money. Like I think I'm near the end of Fall, and I have like 30,000.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I think, just paying a lump sum to essentially kick out your spouse for no...
Does your spouse, live somewhere, or do you just find them, that has a home?
They probably have their own home. Right?
Yeah, they must go back to the...
Yeah, it's like Harvest Moon, where they would have their own homes with, like, they'd live with their parents or their family or stuff like that. They assume they just move back there, so...
But there's actually apparently a couple of glitches currently with it. So, for example... Sometimes the spouse just doesn't leave.
So you have an unhappy
you have somebody
person
who hates somebody in your house, and then I've heard that does the spouse have like a section of the house that belongs to them when they move in with you?
Don't know. I'm not sure because I haven't got.
Either way, apparently, the spouse's section of the house can disappear. And you can't remove the furniture, so it's just furniture sitting in a void, essentially.
I was thinking that you just turn up home one day and there's just there's a builder's dozer building, just going through that bit of the house, and your ex-spouse is sitting there going it's gone. Can't have it now.
But I mean, kudos to the guy. I think he's already fixed some of the glitches. I mean, it is still one guy doing all of this.
Yep.
He works really hard, so kudos to him. So, two sequels have been announced, which I'll mention quickly. One of them is Psychonaut, the second Psychonauts game.
I thought that was announced. I may be misremembering. I thought that was announced a while ago.
Yes, it was, but they've shown actual footage from
it. Okay, yeah.
But they're using Unreal Engine 4.
Okay.
And it looks pretty good.
Okay.
Although all they've made so far is the Whispering Rock Psychic Summer Camp and Raz, the main character.
Yeah.
So it's just stuff that's been...
I imagine it's going to be quite easy for them to update the graphics for it. Since it's quite an old game, but it was very, very stylized. So it's going to be, because I remember the original one being fairly blocky and that was part of the charm of it. But you could very easily up that to
exactly. It doesn't. It looks good, but it doesn't look that much different.
Yeah.
And because it is all they've done is remade an area they already had and a character they already had.
Yeah.
I
suppose with games like that, a lot of it is updating shadows and lighting effects and stuff. Like Wind Waker HD, when they did the HD remake of that, it was it looked very, very similar, but it was the small details were the things that changed.
Right. Yeah.
So yeah, that looked pretty good.
Probably actually play Psychonauts now. Then a friend of mine spent maybe a year going, "You should buy this game. You should buy this game," and I just went, "Nah." And then he bought it for me when it cost only £1, and I still haven't played it. It's a bit of a shame.
I haven't finished it. I've played half of it.
It's pretty good, but yeah, I think it can get a bit, especially near the end, it can get a bit tedious in some aspects. So I think they've also released more stuff on Nidhogg 2.
Oh yeah. I saw stuff about it. That's really weird.
It looks very strange because before it was all just stick figures and you just fight and stuff. Now they've kind of fleshed out the characters.
They now
they're terrifying.
They look like 16-bit characters from that era,
I thought they looked like they were made of marzipan or something. Someone's made a cake and just put eyes on it in weird places and stuff.
It's really cartoony now.
Yeah. Apparently they're planning on just making bigger and better than before, more than 10 levels and different. I think there's more mechanics and stuff, but
yeah, you can get bows and arrows and stuff now.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's going to work against it, really. Because I felt like part of the appeal of the original Nidhogg was how simple it was, and like how like the characters in it looked very, very simple, but they're also fairly detailed for it. Like they looked pretty realistic, the humans, even though they were only like a single colour.
But like adding more weapons is very much welcome, because like when I was playing with people, it got very stale, because you kind of, when you're playing against specific people, you kind of fell into the same rhythms.
Yeah, that's true. I can understand that.
I mean, there is essentially like 3 tactics, which is try getting them throwing the sword, the one where you trip them up and strangle them and drown, and one where you just like try and roll or jump past them.
Yeah.
You fall into one of those tactics.
Or you can just crouch.
Crab, the crabbing forwards and just yeah.
Surprisingly effective. I've seen it take many a person down and then not understand how to defeat it.
It's actually a strategy from which war was it? It was War of the Roses.
Just crouch and stab at the knees.
Yes. So something which, just a small aside, which surprised me about Shigeru Miyamoto specified that all aspects of Mario have always been fluid, like things he likes and everything like that, and what he does, apart from one thing, which is his age. And he's always believed that Mario is 24 or 25 years old.
Oh, I always thought he was like much older than that.
Yeah, I was thinking he was 40s. But like he specifically said this is the only thing he has ever thought to be exact with Mario.
Well, it is true that it doesn't change, like compared to other things that they change about it. But
it simultaneously doesn't matter. Like
he looks older than that.
I was saying he's a plumber, so in my mind, when I think stereotypical plumber, I think man in like his late 30s, early 40s.
How old was the character in the live-action film?
This is
TV
show.
show.
Bob Hoskins was like 40 when he played Mario.
Everyone's idea.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
That is really strange.
That's the other thing. He's sort of. This is a weird statement to sort of release.
I'd like him to really tell us what the ages of all the other characters are. I'd just be like, well, Bowser's actually a 30-year-old man. And you're like, oh, okay.
Just had extensive surgery to become like a Koopa.
It does seem weird that the person, he's been continuously trying to get rid of the some more story aspects of the Mario games. Like he said repeatedly that it's just not necessary in them and everything. To come out and say oh yeah, this is a character detail which is really important to me. It just seems very weird. It'd be like come out and saying oh yeah, also Luigi doesn't like broccoli. It's really important to his character.
Yeah.
It really affects how he jumps on blocks and turtles.
It's true. He dresses in green to try and get over the fear of it.
Yeah.
So a game which I've not been keeping as much an eye on as I would have liked is For Honor. I believe you've been playing some of that.
What is For Honor? Sorry.
It's like sword fighting, samurais, Vikings,
okay.
knights.
Yeah, so it's quite... so recently they released data on the most played and win rates of different characters and stuff. And so the most played isn't too even. I think there's one of each of the knights, samurai, and Vikings, which have played more than the other 3.
Ones,
yeah, and but the win rates are ludicrously even. It is crazy
that
even.
That doesn't surprise me actually.
Which is great because in that sort of game, you like to see that they've balanced it well.
The thing that made me confident about in terms of how the characters were is I went on the forums for it. There was a back end forum that you could only get on if you're in the alpha or betas, I think, and it was the balance threads were just full of every single class, people going this one's wildly overpowered and here are all the reasons why, and then the next one was the same. I think samurai got it a bit more than everyone else's, but that's just the game doesn't really teach you how to fight them.
So is it 1v1 fighting?
It depends what mode you play. There's a 1v1 mode, which is literally just you duel in different environments. There's a 2v2 mode where it sets up 2 1v1 fights, but they're connected, but you'd have to run a distance to get to the other one. So it's kind of the idea is you fight your person. If you win, you go help out your friend.
Okay.
And then there's a 4v4 mode, which is kind of the main mode they advertised, which is a bit weird. It's a 3 control point map, but the middle control point has creep wave.
Okay.
And you get points for killing creeps. You get points for holding control points, and this is something I didn't even know playing in the beta. You get points for not just capping a control point, but capping it and then staying on it. So it's to encourage you to actually like defend a point rather than just run around the map. Because one of the things we ran into a lot in the beta was groups of 4 would literally just sprint around the map, and they'd only come across like 1 or 2 opponents. Because there's 4 of them, they kill all of them. But they counter this by meaning that if you actually stay on the point and keep it, then you get more score towards your side.
I guess that was the thing we also came across when we were playing Battlefield 1 as well, where it would just be like there would be a group of like 5 guys who were just going from point to point, steamrolling everyone, and
but
not
in
staying on
Battlefield,
it.
you just get points for owning them. So capping and decapping gets you a lot of score and kind of like keeps you even with the other side. Whereas in this, the idea is that if you cap it and then you stay on it, you'll get more score towards your team.
Yeah,
which is nice. Like, encourage you to split up a bit. But yeah, it's good. Anyway.
So yeah, no, just some numbers. So the most picked hero is Orochi.
That's not surprising.
With 30%. That's like a third of all picks are this guy.
That's quite big when there are.
How many characters are there?
6.
There's 6 characters, and the lowest one is Conqueror with 9%.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh no, yeah. He's the guy with he's the only one that doesn't
Shield,
have like. Yeah, he has a shield and a flail, which is a bit unusual for the game. Like, everyone else has sort of like either a big axe or a sword, and he has a flail and a shield.
Wait, so it's sword fighting. How do you do like against a sword with a flail? Like,
so the flail has really short range, but he counters that by having a shield, and he has like a timing thing you could like. So it's probably worth mentioning. The game has like a system where you have 3 block directions and 3 attack directions, and you have to try and match your opponent's like attack direction with your guard to block their attacks.
okay.
It's a lot more complicated than that. There's like other stuff you can do in like guard breaks, which are essentially throws and so on. But the Conqueror's shield has an ability where he can make it guard in every direction at once at like a stamina cost. So if he's going to get hit in another direction, he can activate a thing where he'll auto block something. So he has kind of like ways to get in on people, but you beat him by like making him attack you and being outside of his range. Like, you can dodge backwards and then hit him and so on.
Okay, yeah.
He has to like get in close. But the flail has a really cool thing that most other weapons don't have, where it can just continuously attack. Like, you don't have to stop swinging, you can just keep swinging as long as you're hitting them. Like, you never have to like pause or like slow down or anything, which is nice.
So he's like the sort of niche character, but not a lot of people have learned to use him particularly well. Okay, yeah, that's not too bad then.
So, and on the spread of win rates, the highest is Raider with 54%.
He's like what I would describe as like the noob destroyer character, because he has a massive axe and he kills like the weaker characters in 2 hits or so. So if you don't know how to block him, he's really powerful, but he's slow. So
yeah. And then the lowest win rate with 45%, so a really small spread here. It's pretty good. Is Berserker.
Okay.
Apparently.
Okay.
And
game
then,
sounds quite cool.
And then the 2 samurai ones are exactly 50%, and the 2 knight ones are
50.
and the 2 knight ones are 49%.
Wow.
So it's so even.
That's really
it's
cool to see.
Ludicrously even.
Yeah. Does this game have a particularly big player base? I've really not heard anything about it.
It's another one of the Ubisoft ones, so I'm a bit worried about what Ubisoft are going to do with it. But if it could, I'm hoping it will be like similar to Siege, where it will just seemingly get a stable, as long as they support it, like get a stable base. It's the developers weren't actually part of Ubisoft, as far as I'm aware. Like, they spent ages. Read an article about how they spent ages trying to sell this game. It's like, this is a game the lead designer wanted to make for ages to people, and no one was interested. And then this was before Lord of the Rings came out.
Oh,
it's
wow.
worth mentioning, that far back.
Oh, wow.
And then Lord of the Rings came out. Game of Thrones as well has got really popular, and now people are like, yes, we'll make your, like, we'd love to make your sword fighting game. And it's like, oh, finally. But yeah, like it seemed to have a decent user base during the whole time of the alphas and stuff. But yeah, and that's a limited pool. I'm hopeful, but you never know with multiplayer games. So.
Yeah,
I mean, already Chivalry is not. I think this is much more complex in the fighting than Chivalry, but Chivalry was quite a similar game to this.
Okay,
You've heard of that as well, and that's rather popular. So there is some bad news that's come out from For Honor, and they said a while ago that split screen is super required, because they really wanted it in the game so you could just sit in the same room and beat each other up, but they've cut it.
I was gonna say, it's a very like pretty game, and that would be difficult with a lot of stuff going on, so I'd be surprised if a console could handle that.
Yeah, I wish there was less of a stigma against like making your game look a little bit worse in a single mode. Like Halo did the same thing with the latest version, where they were like, well, we're not having split screen because there's no way to have the game look that good on 2 like set monitors. Well, why not just have like reduce the resolution, or
That's
release
what's been nice with like
texture
Mario
qualities
Kart,
and
where they were
stuff.
just like, we'll just take out half of the things in the background of the levels
Yeah.
and let people play split screen. So.
And like you can kind of notice a slight change in the FPS, but like I don't care. I'm playing with my friends. Like I'll happily have a really pretty game single player and then lose a bit.
I
of
guess
that.
it sucks for playing online. Having like lower FPS and stuff can actually hurt you on that end, but. I mean, it's your choice to make that, I guess. But
Yeah.
it looks bad on the devs never want to, like, especially at a point when things like the PS Slim and other consoles are coming out where everyone's like, look at the more powerful hardware. The devs don't want to be like, here's our game that doesn't run at 60.
Yeah.
Or
So it's like screenshots as well. Like someone could just take a screenshot of the split screen thing
Like,
and
look
say,
how
"This
ugly
game
it
looks
is."
awful." Yeah.
Basically, people are assholes.
Yeah,
Yeah, and ruined fun for everyone. Gotten rid of split screen.
yeah. So now I'm going to move on to talking. There's been some, a reasonable amount of news on VR and the like.
Yeah.
So
PSVR
the
came
Oculus Touch is
Reasonably priced. No.
yeah,
No.
$200, $200 for the now. This is just for like the hand.
Oh,
things.
okay. I was going to say like $200 for like the headset and like controllers.
No,
and everything. That's
No,
amazing.
it's just the hand bits, and if you think that's the thing, to use it you actually need a sensor, which is at $80. So it's actually $280.
Yeah, but look at it this
Okay.
way. That's like the cost of 2 of Apple's new wireless headphones. So that's pretty good value.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Or turn a bit of the pencils.
Apple. Yeah. Remember the Apple pencils?
Oh, yeah.
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 But so that's coming out on December 6th, and I don't know, what does the Vive's sort of like hand controllers have on it? It doesn't.
It's like
just,
a trigger and.
It has like the Steam
Control stick?
controller thumb thing.
Oh really? I
found
thought it was a
Alright.
control stick.
I think it has like it's like that but with buttons into it. But I'm pretty sure it has like a motion thing as well.
Okay, so
Okay,
the
yeah.
Oculus has just gone for a similar thing with a hand trigger, an analog stick, and 2 buttons.
Yeah.
Is what they've gone for. So I just don't understand why they're charging. I mean, do they feel entitled to charge more because they were the first people to announce VR, weren't
Basically, yeah. Like the
I
new wave of VR.
they? Yeah, I wonder if they
things.
feel entitled to more money or something.
They've
but-
realised
yeah.
with the knowledge that their co-founder is like a massive alt-right person, they're only going to have a limited user
Window.
base who's going to buy things. So they're like, well, we'll just charge loads and they'll buy it.
Even though I'm cautiously optimistic about VR in general, I'm still not convinced about motion controls even within VR. I don't feel motion
Oh, so you'd
controls.
rather have a controller?
Yeah, I'd much rather have just a controller and a headset.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think I need to try it. That's the problem. Is like I really want to try the Vive just so I can see how it is because like we've done Oculus.
Yeah.
At, E3, not
EGX.
E3, EGX.
That was like 2 years ago.
yeah,
I
2
think.
years ago, and I liked playing it with
Yeah.
the controller. There was like just an indie game where all you did was look around while you walked around and look at stuff, and I was
Yeah.
like, wow, this is really nice. But I haven't tried motion controls. I think maybe bad motion controls like the Wii might have skewed perspective against them
Yeah,
a
I
bit.
suppose.
But
I think it depends on the game, to be honest. I imagine like a racing game, like because I've seen things of people playing like rally games and stuff like that, where you can like look around and stuff like that, and it like, works really well with a controller or like with a wheel or something. But with motion controls, I imagine in a game where you're like in the environment, like actually interacting it as a person, it's a bit weird if you're. I mean, you're not using the advantages of a controller as much.
Well, I suppose, but like motion controls just allows you to do less most of the time, I suppose. Like if I was
Yeah.
playing like a game like GTA in VR, I would love just to use controller and to be able to like
Yeah.
Like Pete said, it does depend on the game lot because I've watched footage of people playing games where like what's the name of the one? Hard Reset, I think, is like a
The robot
either
one.
gun or sword fighting against waves of robots that attack you and stuff like that, and you just go through levels. But there's so much cool stuff you can do with being able to actually hold the things, like people just messing around like throwing guns between their hands and things like that to take different shots, and you can't do that with a controller unless it's like something that's built in, and it feels a lot less cool to press a button and have your character be like, I'm swapping my gun to my other hand, rather than literally throw your gun across and catch it.
Oh, I feel like they're just trying to do it like a little bit too much at once, I suppose. Like I'd much rather than focus on getting a good VR experience.
That is a good point.
Yeah.
And then like building on that. And I think like personally for me a higher priority than motion controls is having like good directional audio as well. And
Yeah,
that's not something I've been really hearing about with like most of these VR headsets.
Just which ones come with built-in headsets? Does the Vive? Because as far as I was aware, I thought the Vive you just used whatever your own.
I thought you
headset.
just use your own.
Whereas I think like the Oculus one.
What with the Vive? No,
the
Vive
PS
have their own headset.
Oh, they do.
They have their own headset. Yeah, but
Yeah.
you have the cameras and the headset for it.
See, I'd kind of prefer to use. I don't know if you can swap out. Like, I kind of prefer to use my own because then you're limited by like what the cost can put in of whether it's a good headset or not, and.
But like, would most headphones be able to like kind of like when you turn your head, kind of just like shift the sound with you turning your head?
Directional sound has been like really good. Directional sound has been in games for a long time ago. It's just that developers don't put it in. Like there are some games that were like from the 90s that had incredible directional sound, like including sounds being confusing because they reflect off other surfaces, so they sound like they're in a different direction and everything like that.
But I suppose the headset could kind of just feed into that and kind of do the head tracking with the directional sound.
Yeah.
Because like even with games with decent directional sound, like when like as soon as you move your head around a bit, it kind of just falls flat a bit.
Yeah.
I guess I need more experience with it, but yeah.
I was just thinking. I think the one reason, or I can think that having those the motion controls would be a bit better than a normal controller would be obviously your head is the camera in a lot of these games, so it's going to be quite hard to think of a control scheme that's like you basically have to take the controller that you already have, all the control schemes you've been using previously, and tear out the camera control from it. So I can imagine it could be a little bit confusing to people. And for like shooting games and stuff like that, would you aim with your face, or would you have a reticule you control with the controller? Or I guess people are just not sure which way to go with it.
Yeah.
Whereas like it's fairly intuitive, I suppose, with motion control.
I'm just worried they'll just be implemented badly. That's my main issue.
Yeah, and like Vive will become Kinect 3.0. Yes, 3.0, not 2.
What I would like to see, and I actually was really happy that there's kind of a bit of this with the. I don't know if you've seen much of the Batman VR game that everyone was raving about. Like a lot of people were saying it's like the best thing on the. I think it's the PlayStation one, isn't it?
Yes, PSVR. Yeah,
PSVR. Everyone really, really liked the Batman demo. Is what I thought would be a really cool thing you could do with it is kind of like. Almost like crime scene investigation with motion controls, or where you have to. You're given an environment where something's happened, and you don't have to like. It stops you from having to move around too much. You're just given a small space, and you have to explore that and look around for like clues and stuff. It would be something that would work well, and I guess maybe the Batman thing uses that a bit because I've seen some footage of him like investigating where people have fought each other and stuff. But I think that's a lot more railroaded.
That works well as well because a lot of the things with the VR Vive has the room scale thing where you can walk around inside the space, but you're limited to that space. So a lot of games use things like portal guns and stuff like that to move it, so it's less jarring. But if you're on a crime scene, you could just have the crime scene be the size of the room you have available.
Yeah, exactly. So, that's such a double-edged sword, though, the space thing, because it's like, if you're a developer, do you make use of the walk-around space or not? Because if you do, some people aren't going to have that space, so they're not going to be able to play your game. And then that means you have to add in the ability to move with the controller as well, or it's just it's a very complex issue.
Well, how do people know how the different headsets handle movement at the moment?
Well, the Oculus itself doesn't detect you moving within the space for it, whereas the Vive does detect you moving around. So I think it just depends from game to game. Other than that, because not all Vive games will use that. But.
So the Oculus Touch is planning on implementing. That's one of the things it's planning on implementing.
Oh, so we're going to have like a lighthouse thing, like the.
Well, that's what the sensor is for. If you actually want to move around inside the room, you need the sensor essentially.
Okay.
Also, by the way, just a small thing, it detects hand shapes, by the way, like thumbs up and other things like that. Very important.
I saw a video of someone playing, there was some weird game where you're like on cars that destroy each other, you have like weapons and stuff on them, and one of the things on the controller where you can just switch between different like hand gestures and stuff, so you just have a load of people, none of them are offensive or anything, so you have a load of people blowing each other up, just giving each other thumbs up, like waving thumbs up at each other in the game, because you can see the hands.
I came across someone that had a interesting idea to do with VR, and like a pipe dream essentially of hopefully arcades coming back where you can hire out like big areas where you can like hire VR.
Oh, that'd be pretty
you
sweet.
Could do like kind of like those escape room things, but with it being all VR, and you could have like you could actually have props that are going to match similar to what you're seeing.
Oh, there is a place that actually exists that does that.
Really?
It's in America somewhere though.
Okay.
As in, like they've actually made like walls and stuff and everything with plywood to match the scenery.
That would be an easy thing to make the cost reasonable. Like if you had a team develop something specifically for your company who are then going to do this, and you can charge people to visit once off each time to get this experience.
And it's cool because for a first-person shooter, you can actually like take cover against walls and things like that, around corners and. Yeah.
I always wondered how, like, I've seen people play shooting games. Like, there's some. I think a guy just developed a very, like a supposed to be realistic shooter type thing. You can play multiplayer, and I've watched people do matches of that. But I always wondered how it handles, like, if you go up next to a wall in the game, there's like a hut, and then you lean forwards. Like, it can't stop your head from going through the wall. But what does it do in the game? Like,
a lot of games they just sort of clip you through awkwardly.
Yeah.
It's quite funny though, actually. Even with the really basic VR stuff, I've seen like shooting games that work kind of well. Like I have the Google Cardboard headset thing, and on the Google Play Store there is a shooter on there, a multiplayer shooter where you can see other people. It's pretty basic, so it's like you can see people like running around and stuff, but like it works with an Xbox controller. If you can plug an Xbox controller into your phone, and it works fine on there. So yeah, I'm expecting to be a lot more games like that coming through, just because they don't seem to be that difficult to produce really. That's one of the main things I found about VR. Like, it's basically just like as long as you have the code in place to control the camera, it's not really that complicated on top of it.
Yeah, and with things like oh god, I've forgotten the name of what's the name of the Unity has built-in Oculus or VR support stuff for things is nice.
Yeah, because I played around a little bit with the Google Cardboard stuff in Unity, and it's just like drag and drop an object onto it, and that object will be your camera, and it will be controlled by moving your head around. So works pretty well.
Cool. Yeah, I also found this like software thing that like connects to your phone, so you can play VR games on your computer using your phone as a headset.
Oh, cool!
And that kind of works reasonably well.
Yeah, I'm keep having moments where I'm like, maybe I should buy a Vive because I'd love to try it out, and I know my computer could run it, but there's nothing like there are no games quite that make me go like I'm willing to put £800 or whatever it is down for this. Like that's the trouble. If someone releases a full game where I'm like that's amazing, then I might buy it. But
it's the Wii U conundrum, but like more,
a lot more money.
Yeah. Well, with the Vive, there are very few like actual games. There are a lot of really cool tech demos where I'll be like, "Oh, this would be really cool," for about 20 minutes, and then another 20 minutes every time someone new comes over, and it's like, "Oh, I can show you the Vive."
That's what's kind of like sad about the new ones, like the PlayStation. Is like there was like they released PlayStation VR Worlds or something, and it doesn't come bundled with the software, which I don't know why. Like I feel like all the VR software should come bundled with things that show off why it's useful.
Yeah.
But half of the things in it are just things where I'm like, that's cool, but you'll play it once. Like, it's like ones where you're just sitting in a cage and it goes underwater and takes you through some pretty environments. And I'm like, but that's going to be the same every time. Like, you're going to do that once, and then you'll be like, hey, family member or friend, watch this. I'll never touch this again.
Yeah.
All right. You need proper replayable games, which is...
Yeah. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be a while before I think we're going to transition off just like tech demos, like flashy things that you like sit down and watch and play through once. But we're starting to get there. There are a few games like that. Like I think
is it Due Process or the no I can't remember. There's the one where you're sneaking. It's like a stealthy game where you're sneaking through facilities.
Oh
and
yeah.
Robots. If that was basically just I think the only downside to it was that it was short. But everything else about that seemed like a sensible game. It's like you're stealthing through a facility. There are robots and you have like throwing knives that you can throw at them and stuff.
Yeah.
And,
it's like that when you're trying to hand in a form or something into like a government office or something like that. So you're sneaking past all the robots. Yeah, I can't remember what it's called. But,
Sorry, developers.
I'll put it in the video description. It'll be fine.
Yeah, I do. So on the subject of short VR releases, the Batman Arkham VR that you were talking about is only going to be an hour long.
Yeah.
So not that that's necessarily a bad thing, but as in
depends what they charge for it. Really.
Yeah, I get. Well, so they're not planning on charging full price. They're going to go for $20. Was their plan. But I mean, they said there's going to be a lot of replayability apparently because there's like different things you'll find on different playthroughs, but I'm not convinced.
Yeah, from what I've seen of people playing it, I didn't watch too much because apparently it's got like some quite cool moments in. And I was like, on the very off chance I get to play this, it would be nice to not have it all ruined. But it seemed very like, here you are in scenario. You basically do a couple of things, and then it completes, and then it fades to black and takes you to the next one. I'm like, Yeah.
Because so the other thing is with that PlayStation VR, they are releasing tomorrow.
Oh wow!
In case you didn't know.
Did not know that.
So it's going to be $400 for the headset.
That's
What
not
is it in pounds though?
Probably £400.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty. I think it's
Yeah.
$122 to the pound now.
Yeah, but then
yeah.
they're not going to do that direct.
Oh yeah, it's true.
Anyway,
It's true. It's pretty close though. And you need a PS4 and a PlayStation camera to have it working.
A
Yeah, that costs money.
PlayStation camera?
Yes.
What's that? Did they...
Yeah, it's been around for a while, I believe.
Okay.
It was similar to the.
Do you remember
Kinect,
like how they did the Eye of Judgment thing? And do you not remember from like previous E3s where they were like, "Please buy our peripheral," and it was like, "You can put a card down and it will spawn monsters."
Oh, okay.
It'll probably be something like that.
I'm
but
just thinking
no
the
one
thing on the
bought it.
PS2 that had that camera thing
Oh
on it,
yeah,
where you could
play games and like it was
Watch-
kind of like early Fruit
everyone-
Ninja.
I love that
Oh,
when
yeah.
you talked about that, you did the washing
Yeah.
motion, because everyone played that game where you had to clean windows, and it plays the, what's it called? The George Formby when I'm cleaning windows
I did
thing.
a charity session of playing games for that for like an extended period with some of my friends to raise money when we were at school. Remember?
Yeah, more reasonably, they are doing a bundle which includes the headset, the camera, PlayStation Move controllers, and a 5-game collection of VR games for $500.
That's pretty good.
That's not too bad.
It's certainly good considering just the headset is $400.
Yeah.
Like,
Genuinely, I don't understand how they're selling the PSVR thing for as cheap as they are. Like, compared to the other devices, it's like, it looks really good. I don't know how they're
Yeah,
managing
well,
to do this.
Well, on that note, Google has announced many things.
I heard
One
about
of
this,
them
yeah.
is their VR headset, which they are selling for £69.
What? Okay.
I think it's not. I think it's.
Google, like,
I think
Daydream
it. I
thing,
think it
that's
is
the
that.
phone one.
Yeah. So it's a phone-based one.
Okay.
So is it
But-
the headset and it doesn't actually come with a phone? You put your phone into it. Or...
Yes, I think that's more. But their plan in it was more to have it like really portable, like you can pop it out wherever. I think they've mentioned that it's 30% lighter than other headsets. I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, just easy to carry around, I suppose. And has a remote. Also has a remote like controller apparently.
Okay.
And I think that they said that no current phones will be fully like pixel pixel ready because they want specific specs for it to work. I think most phones fail in like the screen at the moment. They don't think the screen's good enough.
Yeah, so
Like, I think
they
it's the refresh rate or something.
yeah they've announced like many other technology things they're releasing. So they're releasing their Pixel phone, which I think is what they intend to be used with it. That's going for $650.
Yeah. It's quite expensive.
It's got a 12.3 megapixel camera. It has fingerprint sensor like on the back, so you can for security and stuff. And then apparently, from 15 minutes of charging, it has 7 hours of battery.
Oh yeah, it's got like the fast
Is
charge
that
thing.
if
that's
you don't do
going on.
anything? Or...
No.
Yes.
As in,
like,
Ibs has the phone, the OnePlus phone that does
Yeah.
a similar thing.
like half an hour's charge will give me pretty much like
That's
7
nice.
hours.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're also bringing out the Chromecast Ultra, which is supporting 4K and HDR. So these are new things. So it's like the new HD
Yeah.
that's coming out. 4K, I think, is above 4,000 pixel resolution or something, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then HDR's high dynamic range, which is some.
Yeah, that's the thing that's been around.
Yeah,
for a while,
yeah,
like
yeah.
sonic boom and stuff.
But and then they're also releasing something like the Amazon Echo, if you've heard of that, which is Google Home.
Oh, yeah.
There's like you can use voice commands to control like your thermostat, your music, like
Yeah.
various things.
As if you didn't already have enough personal assistants.
And then they're actually releasing their own brand of wireless router
What?
called
Okay.
Google Wi-Fi, which they're planning. It uses something called mesh Wi-Fi, which tends to only be used commercially because it's quite advanced. So essentially, what it does is it sets up like a network of hotspots around your house, so internet is as fast anywhere in the house.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I had read a little bit about that.
Yeah.
Because when I was looking for a wireless access point, everyone was like, "You should just spend a little bit extra money and go for a commercial
Yeah.
device."
Yeah, so exactly. So, but
Yeah, 'cause
Google
thinking
are
about
planning
it-
on making that accessible.
Like, I don't know anyone who plays games like regularly who relies on Wi-Fi for it. Like, you basically
If you
don't
could
do.
get high-speed Wi-Fi, I would be all for
Yeah.
or reliable Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I would be all for trying it, but it's just I've
Yeah.
never. Every time I've tried to do something on Wi-Fi with my PC, it's just always had trouble. So
Yeah, well, that's their plan. They plan to have it completely reliable and, consistent with that throughout the house. But we'll see.
That'll
how it
be
goes.
glorious, because in every house that I've lived in, like for the last few years, there was always be a thing where you have like 3 or 4 Ethernet cables trailing up the stairs from the router.
I think my current setup at the moment is we've got like a 10-meter long Ethernet cable from the router to a switch which has 4 Ethernet cables coming out of it, and then one of those goes to my room where there's another switch which has another 4 Ethernet cables coming out of that, one going into my wireless access point and my PC and my PS4. So yeah,
we get it, Ibs, you're a nerd. We get it.
He likes those Ethernet cables.
what would the total meterage of Ethernet cables in this
It's a
house
lot.
be?
It's a lot.
Like over 100.
Yeah. So final bits of news. There's always news about it. Overwatch.
Yes.
So they've mentioned that there's going to be dramatic changes to Symmetra coming.
Yep. I watched the video.
They're actually saying they'll probably actually even change her mechanics. Lots of people have been saying make her a healer, but they've explicitly said that was never their plan for her.
I wonder if this will make our friend Dave, who plays Symmetra, happy or very sad.
Yeah, I don't know. But
I really like Symmetra as well. She's really, really fun to play, but also simultaneoally she's basically useless on 50% of all maps.
So this is exactly their plan. They want to make her viable in more situations, and they're always pretty under wraps with what they're doing. So that there's no clear ideas for what they're going to change. But
they gave quite a lot of points of things they're not going to do. They were saying things like, "Oh, we're not just going to be tweaking damage. We're not going to be changing cooldowns and stuff. It's going to be an actual change to her." I'm almost certain it's going to be they're going to replace her E with something, and maybe change Maybe her ultimate will change in the second stage of a map or something, just because the teleporter just isn't that useful in the second half.
But it's so. I think when the teleporter is doing work, it does so much work. So it's like it is
really
super good, or just useless is the issue. Either way. Apparently, they're also working on 2 new heroes right now. One of them is the one which I think is coming out soon, and everybody's talking about. I think it's Sombra. Yeah. And the other one, they haven't said anything on. Apparently, it's in concept, and they think it looks really fun.
Yeah, that's good to hear.
They say they're going to probably release. It will be next year if it's going to come out.
They said they've got just test models for all of it,
exactly.
So it's just wireframes and things.
Yeah, they it just sounds like which is good. They're constantly working on things, and if they don't think something's up to scratch, they'll just scrap it. Because in fact, they've talked about the fact that they're currently working on 5 maps, one of which is probably is far along and will probably be released soonish. The other 4, apparently they don't even know if they're good enough to sort of bring out. They might just scrap them, but yeah, they're constantly working on new content.
Maps is the thing I'm most excited for. Yeah.
I'd really even if they were we're not releasing any more heroes for this period, I'd be as long as you're releasing maps, I don't care. Does not bother me.
I feel like there's enough. There's enough heroes to keep it going. Whereas new maps, they've only released 1 new map so far, right?
There's been what's the map called? Iconvold,
which I thought was great.
I really like that map.
But either way, and then of course you've got the Halloween event
that came out last night.
Yes, it came out last night.
It was too spooky though, so we had to go to bed.
Yes, new skins, and there's a new brawl, which is PVE. So I love PVE.
Quickly before we
PVZ. No, because they're robots.
Because you mentioned the skins as well. One thing I also want to point out, they did also allow you can buy all the skins with in-game gold this time.
Expensive
for the I can kind of expect that.
How much are they?
3,000.
It's 3,000 for the legendary, 750 for all of the the lesser ones. So you can get the Symmetra one, which is only
I didn't even know Symmetra had one.
Yeah, she's like a vampire one.
Okay.
It's really cool. But yeah, it's 3,000 for the Junkrat one, 3,000 for the Roadhog one, and the Mercy one.
Oh man, those are the ones I want.
They need to start making skins for Mercy and make good skins for other characters. She's got so many good skins.
They finally made a good skin for Junkrat though.
Yeah,
I really like the Reaper one as well. I think that's probably
good,
my favourite. That and the Mercy one are my favourites.
Yeah,
Junkrat. Actually,
Junkrat. I don't like any of
terrible.
I don't like any of Junkrat's skins, but this one I like. So,
I go back to the PvE thing.
But so there's the PvE mode, where essentially you and a team of 3 other members, you have to pick specific characters between Soldier, Hanzo, Anna and McCree, and you have to face off against waves of Zomnics, or like
Zombie robots.
Zombie Omnics,
Yeah.
trying to blow up the door, and also you get like bosses which are like other characters essentially with largely increased health.
Yeah.
And it's pretty hard. One of the hardest mode definitely, and then certainly challenging on normal.
Yeah. I thought it was quite fun. Like, one of the things I liked about it especially was the fact that basically all the characters have voice lines that are playing throughout. Like, there'll be proper conversations between them
Because there was a bit more. Like, we only played it 4 times and I heard the same lines.
Really, I
every
didn't hear.
game.
I don't think I heard any repeats for it.
Oh,
It was just like
really?
there was things about like Anna talking about Reaper for a while. There was things with McCree and Soldier talking about being
had bad luck, but I had like I can't remember whether it was someone being
alchemist.
like something about Anna being an alchemist.
Yes,
and then I was
yeah.
like, I heard that like 3 times.
That one happened
and then
a lot, yeah.
There was like McCree asking Hanzo about where he lived or something. I was
Yeah.
like,
Well, there's
okay.
McCree going, I don't know about this alchemy. It seems like mumbo jumbo to me. And then Anna's like,
And the soldier, whenever you kill Reaper, being like, the Reaper's curse is ended. And then he comes back 2 minutes later and you see him again. He's like, the Reaper's curse
Yes,
is
because
ended.
finally the Reaper's curse is ended.
I do like that they're kind of playing it up, like, it's almost like the characters are acting in a film where they're pretending
Yeah.
they're
It's
from like a pastime,
Yeah.
even though the soldier has like a rifle.
Yeah.
and
It's
stuff.
pretty ham, which is
Yeah.
is good.
Well, like the video they did when they announced it for it was literally like they show Hollywood, the map they already have, and then they zoom in on one of the screens, and it's like the film them
right,
playing
yeah.
in a film.
That's good,
So, yeah.
What I was going to say about it, that I really like, this is my favourite thing they decided to do with it, is that it has a set end point. I like horde modes, but I always get like just bored of ones that go on forever, and it's just a case of how far you get. Like the zombies mode in Call of Duty, I just get like people play that, and at the end of it, it's all the zombies take like 3 minutes to kill individually, and it's just someone running around the map over and over again, and I just find it so dull. Whereas I really like having a set end. And what it reminds me the most of is actually the Dawn of War Last Stand mode. Even though it's a completely different type of game, it still has the same thing of like you're prepping for particular boss waves where you're like, okay, I know this is the wave at which Reaper's going to spawn, or in the Dawn of War, and you're like, you have that set wave where you have to fight yourself, so you've got a plan based on that, or like, okay, in this wave the War Chief is going to spawn in this area, and so on. Like, it's repeatable, which means you can actually work out strategy, so you can be like, alright, as soon as he spawns, Anna's going to sleep him, and then we'll use this and so on to...
Yeah, when you play
stuff.
with just 2 people, that doesn't happen much. It's just basically just like... Because when I played yesterday, I was playing as Soldier, and the guy I was playing with was playing as Hanzo over and over. So we basically just stayed with those same characters as we played. And yeah, it was fun, but there's only there's a limit to the amount of coordination you can do. Like, I'm pretty sure out of all 3 games I played, I saw Anna ulting someone other than Hanzo once. I don't really understand
Ooh.
why.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a weird
weird.
choice because we almost exclusively use the charges on
If you give it to
McCree.
McCree, then he can lock kill a lot of the boss characters when they're on about half health.
Oh,
or
okay.
lower.
Oh, we
makes
just did it
us-
with Soldier because he just like wipes out like entire waves while like see if the Soldier
Yeah.
clearing up all of the Zomnics while everyone else kills the bosses.
Soldier's good for it as well.
good,
But,
yeah.
no, I think that like genuinely the McCree insta-killing bosses pretty much with that charge is super helpful.
Yeah,
It's nice, they made it so that you can't just do it, like when Roadhog's on full health, for example, you don't have enough time to lock him because he has so
Yeah.
much health, so you have to get him down to like a third of his health
Yeah.
before you can do it.
yeah. I think we were just limited just because I think they were the only characters like Hanzo and Soldier were the only ones we were willing to play because they're the only ones we could play. Neither of us could play McCree, neither of us could play Anna. So
So it's a lot harder than McCree in that mode. Like
Han-
McCree's so
Hanzo-
easy in that
Han-
mode.
Hanzo,
compared
I'd
to
say,
it.
is the hardest
He's
character
by
in that
far the
mode.
hardest. Especially for things
Because
like the tyres, helping out those with Hanzo is
they
tough.
have weird pathing as well. Like the problem is the zombies have some weird pathing.
oh, the tires themselves, you can just use the scatter arrows on the ground and they just
Yeah,
drive
but you have to be near to where they're going to be able to hit the floor and take them out.
There are only
Like,
3 locations they can come from, though. So, like, if you know they're coming, if it's coming from the building on the right, you fire a scatter arrow into the building, and it
Yeah.
just destroys it straight away. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'd say probably. Well, I don't know. They all seem to be good at different things. Which is good about it. Which is
Yeah.
they work quite well
Mm.
in different ways.
Yeah.
Because Soldier's really good at like clearing out the little ones.
Yeah, there was lots of nice little things like I pointed out that it's really useful either with Hanzo or Anna that if you don't kill them in one hit, the robots or any type of them, don't bother wasting a second because you're a high damage person. If you just don't shoot them the second time, someone like Soldier who deals a lot of low damage can finish off anything that you've injured in like a split second. So it's really like with Anna, all I was doing when I wasn't healing people was just shooting each thing once, and then letting other people finish them. So
especially with the rocket as well with Soldier, you can fire a rocket in, and if people have been hitting them occasionally, they just all of them explode, and you get like 6 at once.
I'd say the only downside of the mode is that some of the characters' abilities just seem pointless. Like Hanzo's detection arrow, it's like there's no reason to use that, so it kind of feels a bit weird that they left that in. Like I get they want to keep the same character, but it's like maybe give it something else because it does nothing right now. Yeah,
because there was the thing in Dota 2 when they had was it a Halloween thing or Christmas thing?
Died.
No, as in. Oh no, it was the thing where they had the Wraith Knight.
The Wraith
Knight. All of they had characters that were in the game, but they tweaked the powers slightly so it worked a bit better in a horde mode type thing. So like I think Axe's abilities were slightly different and things like that.
He gave people lifesteal with his battle hunger rather than but they did well on that one.
Yeah, I enjoyed that mode when I played it, but I can understand why it's quite simple, like having the mode in it. I don't think they're going for the like. Well, obviously, the obvious comparison is man versus machine, the PvE thing.
It's more in depth than I expected it to be in terms of like. It's so easy to make a cheap horde mode where you can just spawn tougher enemies, like a few different types of enemies that come at you. But like having the actual like different characters come in at certain times and like the bit where like the cool zoom in effect it does on them.
Oh yeah.
To let you know they've arrived. Although that can mess you up if you're like Hanzo or someone. Yeah. Mercy is just like when she arrives, you're like.
When Mercy arrives and it zooms in, I just go please, please.
Both the first 2 times we played it, we had Mercy arrive as the Hanzo's ultimate was going through. So when it zooms in, literally you just see nothing but white screen, and it just Mercy dies straight away. So we basically didn't see what she did really until the 3rd time we played it.
Nice.
Because it was just like, we didn't even realise she was coming in. But if you just keep firing the Hanzo ultimates down the middle, usually bosses spawn there. So yeah, but no, I enjoyed that mode.
It's good. It also made me just wish there were more like FPS co-op things that you could play that are like that, because man, like Left 4 Dead, it reminds me of playing that with people. I really love playing that, and I just wish more people would make that. Like,
weren't they working on Left 4 Dead 3, or was that just my imagination?
When
there was a screenshot.
Valve can't count to 3.
Yeah.
There were people who that was one of the first Source 2 things that got leaks for it. Like people who were on a tour at Valve saw like references to Left 4 Dead 3 on people's to-do lists and stuff on monitors. So yeah, people think they are working on it, but like. The way Valve develops games is weird, so God, who knows if they're making it still.
Completely agree with you, Henry. Like I remember when we were playing as a house, the Gears of War like horde thing, split screen, and we were trying to get to like there were only
split screen. No.
Yeah,
there were like 50 levels, and we were trying to, and every 10th level there was a boss, and we were trying to get from 1 to 50, and it was really, really difficult, and we very nearly did it, but never managed to.
That's the thing. Like, that's probably my favourite type of gaming is where like you're playing something that's co-op, and it's kind of that kind of thing where it's, I don't know, like it doesn't, not like a story-based co-op thing, but where it's like a challenge thing, and you sort of learn the patterns of the game, and you know like when things are going to come out, but you have to like work together with your friends and beat it. It's like that's the only kind of like really like tough player versus environment thing I enjoy. Like I don't enjoy doing that single player, but like as soon as I'm playing with my friends, I love it.
Yeah.
So.
It's nice to play those kind of games like non-competitively occasionally. Like obviously when you're playing, even when you're playing the quick play mode in Overwatch, you are still competing against another group of people. It's cool to have those kind of abilities and see how this style of game works.
Yeah, this is the first mode I'm actually going to be really sad probably when they take it out because it's nice.
Yeah. But no, I think it's nice to have something special like that. I hope they do a Christmas thing as well. Yeah.
It's actually interesting seeing more devs doing this, because it's Valve started it with doing stuff like the TF2 Man versus Machine and things like that, and then they've even been doing it in like CS:GO. They've been adding like these co-op missions that you play with a friend and stuff, and now like Overwatch doing it for competitive multiplayer games. It's quite strange then, like that you wouldn't immediately make the connection of going, yeah, let's take this competitive multiplayer game and then just add co-op mode with like all these like almost story-ish elements in or whatever, or like dramatic single player.
Yeah, the CS ones especially are like a story you play through 3 stages. Yeah, that was really fun though. Yeah,
but cool. I hope more people do that. 'Cause it's nice.
To finish off though on this topic, I really hope because Winston hasn't gotten a skin for the summer games, and he didn't get a Halloween one either.
Come on, man!
So
He gets Father Christmas.
That's what I'm hoping.
that'd be amazing.
Father Christmas.
That's what I'm.
Would he be an
Yeah.
albino, do you think?
Yeah. I'm hoping that they get a Father Christmas one more than just like a Yeti one or something like that. I'm just waiting for the Christmas thing for that.
That would be amazing.
But yeah, he doesn't have a Halloween skin or anything like that. He didn't get someone
He does not
either.
get much love.
To be fair, his Explorer skin is great.
Yeah,
which
true.
Is the one I
Yeah.
have. Like, it's really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever I play the game, I forget Winston is in the game. Like, I'm like, I'll pick a tank, and then I pick like Diva or Reinhardt, and then I'm like, oh, Winston's actually in the game. He's really good. But
Yeah.
I just don't think about him.
Yeah.
Shame, poor monkey.
Yeah, he's a really fun character, but yeah, doesn't get a lot of love in it.
Anyway, shall we talk about what we've been playing?
Yeah, we should finish off with
Briefly.
Yeah.
Where do you want to start? Then?
It hasn't been a lot, if I'm honest. I finished the first episode of Life is Strange. I played through that. I was probably about 2/3 of the way through when I spoke last time. But yeah, I enjoyed that quite a bit. I bought the rest of them.
Oh, you did?
It was like £15, so I was like,
Yeah.
I'm definitely going to play this. So at some point soon, I'm going to play through those.
Cool. If you play it through first, then I'll be able to judge how you did compared to me, rather than the other way around.
Yeah, because when you finish an episode, it says the things that you did, like the actions and decisions you took, and how you compared to the rest of the world who played the game, and also your friends.
All right, so like Walking Dead and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But not your friends, I suppose, in that situation.
Yeah. It turns out I'm very, very mainstream in that I did basically what everyone else did,
Okay.
except for like the only thing I did differently was I managed to like save a bird at one point. But a lot of these decisions were stuff like I got to the end and it was like, oh, you watch these people do skateboarding. I was like, I didn't even realise that was in the game. So that's why I didn't
I
do
had that
it.
as well. You were like, did you save the bird? And I was like, what?
Yeah.
What bird? But
Yeah.
I do like that they put in decisions that are clearly ones where basically no one picked, and then you can see like the result at the end, and it's like you blame your friend for doing something, and it's like 1% of people did this, and I'm like, you deplorable people, like you
Did it for the achievement, I know.
Degenerates.
Yeah, playing that and then playing Duelist as well. Pretty much just the
Those daily challenges.
I do the daily challenge, and then occasionally I play a game against someone online. And
I haven't played. I love that game, and I haven't played a game online against someone in a while. But I still go on for the daily challenges like every day, 5 minutes or whatever.
Yeah, but a lot. I feel like I don't. I think it's just because I'm still in like the very, very low ranks of it. Like every game I play is hilariously one-sided. Either I will just obliterate the person, or the other person will just obliterate me.
Well, it's easy enough to get to the silver division, is what I found, and they reward you for getting there. Like you get a spirit orb at the end of the thing for whatever division you get to in the thing. So I just played like last time I played, and all the people in bronze for the most part, unless you run up against someone who's obviously like just started playing again, who's good. They're terrible, so you're just like you just blitz through them.
Yeah. I just keep coming across people who'll have just like ridiculous cars. I'm like, I didn't know this was in the game, so I couldn't deal with this at all. But yeah, I'm enjoying that game. Like I play it for maybe 10 minutes a day, so just
I
do
actually
the
like
challenge
having
mode.
a game that I only play for that brief period. Like I don't have to commit anything to it. You just go in and I'm like, that was fun. I'm done now.
Yeah. Cool. That's pretty much all I've been playing.
Cool.
I've been playing Doom, which is really, really good. Everyone said it was good, and I was like, yeah, probably. And then I bought it, and it really is. So
I have to make a note to get that.
It's
on my wish list.
It was on sale it was like half price, and I was like, I'll pick this up for like 20 quid or whatever, and it's really worth it. I would recommend it. It's kind of like, it's the way I would sell this game is it's like one of those games you played as a child, and then you remember it being really good, and then you go back and play it, and it's actually like terrible and looks awful. But it's like they made a game such that it's how you remembered playing the game when you were a child.
Nice.
And it's just really like everything about it is just really nicely tuned, like all the animations and things. So it's good fun and not spooky, unlike Doom 3. So yeah, it's really, really good. I also playing Smash Bros. Melee again, which is nice. I haven't played for a good while, and then there's a guy here who runs local Smash Bros. Team, which you can read about on Vice, because I wrote an article. I'm going to plug myself. Go look it up on Vice Gaming.
It's fine. I'll edit that out.
But yeah, I went and played. He did like just a weekly thing, ran a tournament with £2 entry, and it was really good fun. There's a lot of like new people, surprising number of people who just joined uni who were like really young and started playing it, and I'm like, these people must have, like, when the game came out, they were probably like 3 years old or something. It's crazy thinking about that. But
You're an old timer now in the community.
yeah. But it is nice that all the young people are really good at like the really high technical stuff. Like they'll be able to do all this like fancy stuff that requires you to press buttons at this crazy rate. And I do lose to a lot of the people who are good at that and good at the game, but I'm playing a character who doesn't need nearly as much of that. So a lot of the time they'll just be like flying all over the place, doing all these fancy moves, and then I'll hit them like 3 times and kill them, and I'm like, it's okay. But yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I've been playing through Devil May Cry fairly slowly. That's a game I absolutely adored.
The first one?
Yeah, Devil May Cry.
What are you playing it on?
Because I got my brother's PS4, and he subscribes to PlayStation Now.
I've wanted to play that game for so long, but I was
Resident
thinking
Evil
about
Remake just came out on that, didn't it?
And PlayStation Now catalog's actually really good, and on one of the catalog things is the entire Devil May Cry 1, 2, and 3.
Oh man,
Nice.
So I've been playing through that, and that's been pretty fun. And I've also been playing through God Eater. They've released like 2 on Steam, and if you get 2, you get 1 for free. So I thought I would play through 1 to decide if it was worth getting other people to buy it so I could play with 2 with them. And like I've said to I think some of you, it's just a Monster Hunter clone.
Yeah.
But it's on PC and it looks really nice.
Yeah, from what I can gather looking into it, when Capcom stopped making Monster Hunter for the PlayStation, for the PSP, this game filled in for it. So these games are ports of Vita games.
Yeah.
So they like upped all of the resolutions and the textures and stuff of the Vita games. So yeah, but they are very similar to Monster Hunter.
And it works pretty well, and enjoyed playing it on mouse and keyboard and controller, which was kind of surprising.
I've been impressed with the PlayStation. What's it called again?
Now.
PlayStation Now. Sorry, they changed the name from the other things. Collection-like stuff. Just like nice games. Like one of our collector friends actually spoke to me and said she'd started playing the Resident Evil remake, which they just put on it, and like that's one of my favourite games. So it's really nice like to have people be able to play it for kind of free.
And it's available like on PC and everything.
Oh really?
Yeah, you can just like download the app, and if you subscribe,
that's really cool.
Yeah, and it's got loads of PS3 games in it.
Wait, can you just play it with any controller with it?
You can
That
play with
explains it.
okay.
I saw an article with someone saying like, "Oh, these are the best PlayStation Now games that are now soon going to be on PC," and I thought they just meant they were getting like ported and released separately, but I didn't realise it actually meant.
Cool.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, well, and me, the only thing that's different to what I've been playing of late is I played a little bit of Outlast with one of my. So I went home and saw a friend back there, and he has PS4, and he was flicking through the games. I was like, "Oh, you've got Outlast," sort of thing, because it looked like an interesting game. It is not my sort of game. I don't like horrors. I hate horrors. And he was like, "No, let's play." I was like, "No, I'm fine." And then he insisted, and it was late at night, and we got a bit into the game, and we just had to quit because. But then we played it in the morning, and it was fine. But this is well, I guess that's a lot of the thing about horror, when it's the atmosphere is really important. But they've done that game so well. I mean, there's only one thing up to where we got to which I could fault it with. So the atmosphere is great. The fact that you're look, because you look through a camera, and if you use night vision, your battery goes down really fast, essentially.
Yeah.
So like, and you have to find batteries in the environment and stuff. But either way, the hiding in it is kind of really hard at one point, but there were 3 points, 2 points which really just broke my fear of it. One of them was I crouched underneath some pipes, next to a radiator or some machine, and a guy came in after me, and he tried to get me, and literally what I did, because there was space behind and in front of this machine, so I walked backwards behind the pipes, and he couldn't get me, so he ran round. I walked forwards, and then he ran back round, and he lost me.
Whoa! I thought you were going to
I was literally just stood there in these pipes, and he was
like a mental asylum, aren't you, or something?
Yeah.
People have gone through hell, so they're probably a bit absent-minded.
I was like, and then he just kind of walked off.
It's not worth it.
And the other thing is that. At one part I had to run past him because his pathing was in the way of where we needed to go, and he kind of hit me, and then I just ran and outran him, and I kept on having to run past him, but every time he just kind of hit me and it would go, and then I just carried on running, and it was just and that kind of also, I don't know how you get around that. But that breaks the immersion, because as soon as he hits you and you're like, I'm fine, I just outrun him, it's kind of not scary anymore.
Well, I mentioned the similar thing would happen if you kept getting hit by him and dying instantly, because you'd be doing the same session over.
You'd be it's a tough thing, it's always the problem of when you actually face the monster thing or whatever, it's never going to be that good. But you're going to keep going on it, do you know? Or...
Don't know. I don't see him very often. So
I was going to say, I watched the full playthrough of that game. It's quite cool. It was made by quite a small studio, as far as I'm aware, which is nice to see that do well. And they've just released a demo of the second one.
Oh, right.
They're making.
Okay.
Those, as a warning, it's not in the base game for that, but they released DLC for that. They enjoy threatening male genitalia, like as in threatening your characters. As in, like, in the DLC there's a sequence in which you very much nearly lose your genitalia. And then I watched the demo for the second one, the character in that gets, like, chopped there as well, and I was like, oh god. So
They
it's
know
quite
their
unpleasant.
audience.
They know the weaknesses of
Yeah.
guys who
Man.
are playing it, so yeah. It's quite nasty.
Yeah. That's a fine place to end a
Yeah.
podcast. Okay.
But yeah, so there we go. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time.
Woohoo. Huh?
Huh?
Huh?